Hey there. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Oh my god. Let's try that again before my car yells at me. Take two. Hey there. Happy post-Thanksgiving. Hoping you guys enjoyed your International Bulk Day as much as possible. And for my friends on a cut right now, wasn't so bad, right? You made it through. You know, that time passed regardless. It always goes through, man. Every day when you're cutting, you know, it's just one meal, 1 hour at a time. And ironically, when you're bulking, it's every meal at a time. Just trying to get one down, one after the other, after the next, after the next, after the next. Bodybuilding's real funny like that, man. Because I'll turn the AC on right now. I'm sweating. Whew. You're either starving yourself or you're fighting to get all that food in. It's amazing how what you eat really does affect exactly what your body looks like. But I digress. Today is leg day. And unlike Black Friday, my leg day will not be discounted. We have a nice one in store for you today. So, my plan is I'm going to go in there, start with some extensions. Nothing crazy. I always start them out really light. Like 2 sets, because I'm afraid somebody's going to get on my hack squat before I do, while I'm just warming up. So that's always in the back of my mind right there while I'm trying to warm up. 2 sets of extensions, nice and light, while I'm staring my hack squat down like a hawk. Whew. Follow that by the hack squat. From there, I'm going to go into a horizontal leg press, which is a really cool piece that not a lot of gyms have. It's basically, instead of a leg press where you're pushing up, you're pushing it directly forward. So that's a great one. From there, we're going into RDLs. We plan to go into RDLs at least, with free weight barbell. That is one of, in my opinion, the best hamstring movements. Because when you see the bodybuilders posing with the side chest and you see that that hangy hamstring down, where their quad is up here, but just that meat hanging down here, that's all from moves like Romanian deadlifts. Because the RDLs, they really just stretch apart that muscle. And in stretching that, it has to rebuild along those fibers and be pretty much as elastic, if you will, but more so like you're stretching out a rubber band all the time. Whereas with the hamstring curls, the machine, you're going to see a lot of contractions and a lot more definitions with something like a back double bicep, where you throw the hamstring back and you flex it and you see those little divots, those pops. You get a lot of those from those single leg hamstring curls or the hamstring curl machines in general. But that mass, aside the heavy squats and things like that, but it really comes from those RDL movements. Because without that big stretch, you got to remember the hamstring is a really strong muscle. And it needs to be trained as such. If you're doing 100 reps for a hamstring machine, you're not really going to get much out of it because it's mainly a fast twitch muscle fiber. So you'll progress much quicker just going really heavy and really good stretches, good contractions, instead of just pumping the hell out of it. But the pump will come regardless, so long as you're pushing a muscle past failure. But in terms of like just doing a ludicrous amount of reps, it'll burn. Oh, it'll burn. But you're not going to get a ton out of it. So after those RDLs, we go into the calf raises. I usually do the donkey calf raises on my leg day. From there, it's the single leg hamstring curls, followed by the inner and outer machines, the adductors and the abductors. My last finishing move, you could say, is back to the same quad extension machine again, but this time I'm going all out. All out, total muscle failure. The reason I do that is because quad extensions are really shearing on the knees. They're really rough on the knees. So if you start out with extensions really heavy, what ends up happening is you're banging up your knees pretty hard because there's no blood in the muscle yet. So your body just naturally wants to load the joint. So you're going to use your joint pretty much to move all that weight. And that's a lot of shearing. But once you get to the end of your workout, you'll find that obviously you have a sick pump. And your body's going to be more in tune with loading up your muscle instead of loading up the joint. So when that time happens, you can get back on that motion. Even though it's a very shearing motion still, it's not going to try to shear the knee. It's just because it's so strict, just a complete right angle. But instead of trying to shear the knee, it's just going to be all quads. And man, if you wait till the end to do them, you get a ridiculous burn. The nice thing about the last two is, nothing's going to fall on you. So if you end with squats, you can get hurt, it can fall on you. You end with a leg press, you can get hurt, it can fall on you. When you end with extensions and you finish with total muscle failure, it just falls down. Nothing falls on you. What's funny is, when I was a kid and I first started training, I always liked training hard. It was a really good time for me. So, my favorite muscle group to train was always back, because it was the only muscle group for that reason, where I could train it as hard as I wanted, and when I failed, nothing could fall on me. A leg press I had to worry about it falling on me, a bench press falling on me, shoulder press falling on me. But a back movement, nothing falls. Worst case scenario, I drop it on the floor, barbell row or dumbbell row. There's a pull down. Worst case scenario, it goes up, it goes away from me. So I can push those to absolute shearing, total muscle failure every time I went to the gym. And it was always a great time. But last but certainly not least, in terms of my leg day program, is sissy squats. But I do them a little bit different. So I do them kind of like a Tom Platt style, where he's taking his knees and going significantly over his toes. So what I'll kind of do is I'll hold on to a Smith machine, really just for balance. It's not even going up or down or anything. I'm just holding on to it far away for balance. And I'll totally just squat down well over my toes, and then I'll stand on my toes and push up through there, where it puts all of the tension, like right in the, I don't want to say the teardrop of the quad, but the first 4 inches of the quadricep from the knee up. You feel the movement pretty much exclusively there. Aside the fact that you're fatigued everywhere else, but where you really feel it, it's right there. So that's kind of what I call bulletproofing the knees, where you're really building up those tendons that allow that mobility to go that far past your toes and, bring the knees that far forward or back or sideways, everything. So that's the plan for today. Is, once again, extensions, hacks, horizontal leg press, RDLs, donkeys, hamstring curls, adductors, abductors. I usually superset those. Extensions, and then the sissy squats. I can't imagine who named those things to begin with, because he must have been seeing like some girl doing it, just calling them sissy squats. Because when you do them correctly and you do them, at the end of your workout, they're not for the weak-hearted. Especially the willpower to just do them. And they're not easy. So that's about all I got for you right now. That's the plan. We're heading there right now. Heading to the gym. I got 3 meals in me so far. I don't know about you guys, but before Thanksgiving dinner yesterday, my Thanksgiving dinner was meal number 5. Hope you guys ate big. I have my pre-workout over here. Where is it? My pre-workout's right here. I got something to sip on for the ride right here. I'll see you guys inside. Okay, so I'm learning about the new mic right now, and I had my Beats headphones on, which have microphones on them as well as the microphone that's on my Beanie. So it really got janky, and it sounded like a sharp screech the entire set, and I promise it wasn't me. So I picked up on that after the set when I rewatched it. Basically, that must have been what happened. So the audio for this is scrapped. The other exercise after this, I fixed it. Top set of sister squats. Then you do them like this, chest all the way up. Roll that leg up so you can see some quad. And look at the angle of my knee. Coming down. And push up over here. You want to push up as far away from yourself as you can. You try to squat toward the mirror, not up. And on that note, let's go pose. Whew. All right, so post-Thanksgiving leg day has been finished, and they always talk about how everybody's heavier after Thanksgiving. Somehow, I managed to go from 233 to 238. I saw that on the scale this morning, and I'm like, oh, all right. So we're growing, baby. Now let's see what this post-workout pump looks like. Okay. Alrighty. Let's roll this up a little bit. There we go. God, they're so pumped you're not even seeing a line in there. Ooh. Whew. Check the side out. Tuck that in. It's a nice sweep. Calves looking all right. Ooh. Nice. That hamstring definition. All right. So even though we're heavy in a water buffalo today, that hammy definition is still there. Good. Let's see if the rest of me is as water as I think it'll be. Okay. Okay. Not as bad as I thought it would be. Looking pretty solid, to tell you the truth. This is great. Ooh, it's one of my favorite poses. You can see where some of that water went right about here. Whew. Nice. All right, guys, I'm gonna put the wheels away, put my pants back on before I go walking around the gym. Whew. Hopefully the audio sounds a lot better on this one because I threw the mic up here instead of balancing it on my trap. And on that note, I hope you guys put the food to work that you ate yesterday, and I'll see you tomorrow.